Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel, or peeks down at it for a glance, or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Bleav.
Doesn't matter if you're an Indian or if you're a Warhawk.
The Yearling mention is the greatest. You'd hope for the best as a Yearling fan, but
this is Bleav in the Warhawks podcast with hosts Dusty Thibodeau and Chase Regent.
Chase, you always have such great insight.
Thibs is going to bleep it all.
What are these guys always talking about?
We talk a lot about food on this podcast, and I'm going to continue to do so.
Really, really appreciative of the people and the community and the way that they've backed us up.
Nailed the introduction, by the way. Awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Fish.
it.
Chase, unavailable for this episode, deciding instead to go hang out in the Caribbean. So you're stuck with just me to recap spring football. A little unusual that it was on a Thursday night, but due to campus logistics, it just wasn't really in the cards to have it on Friday or even Saturday. Not really a whole lot to dig into on it, though. Head Coach Bryant Vincent definitely worried about this final spring portal window and what it could do to his roster. So he didn't want anybody to really know who was going to be playing at what position, how fast they were, how good they were. And it showed. We saw a little bit of Aiden Armenta, returning starting quarterback. Definitely looked more comfortable out there. Looked a little bit sharper, a little bit more ready for a sophomore season. Hunter Herring, he's thick. He has put on some serious muscle. I think the concerns about him being as fragile as we all think he is or could be, maybe that eases a little bit of anxiety over who's going to be backing him up. Aiden, that is. Offensive line, it was really kind of a piecemeal. There were a lot of the same pieces there, but they weren't always in the same position. I think it was a little shuffling around to see what do we have at the guard position? What do we have at the tackle position? Can a tackle play inside? Can somebody that's maybe a tackle snap the ball at center? So I don't think that there's really a whole lot to read into that. Just like I don't think it's a fair assessment to say the offensive line was good, not good, when the defensive line was really in the backfield quite a bit. Maybe the defensive line is that good. The offense, it was opened up a little bit. There were definitely more passes attempted than what we had traditionally seen from Bryant Vincent in the offense. Secondary looked pretty good, but it was also a little concerning. There wasn't a lot of separation there between the receivers in the secondary. Is the secondary that good? Are the receivers maybe a little bit slower than what we're used to seeing or have expectations to see? Or were they told, hey, don't go full speed. Let's just kind of half speed it. We don't know who's in the crowd of maybe 1,500 people checking out a spring game. Probably the most that we've seen at a spring game in a while. You might hear in the background the good old ways talking. I'm trying to make the most of this long drive back home as I leave Monroe. But overall, I feel pretty good about where the Warhawks are going into season number 2 of Bryant Vincent. That was on Thursday. And we can go ahead and drop in some sound bites from head coach Bryant Vincent, quarterback Aiden Armenta, and of course our favorite offensive lineman, favorite player there, Elijah Fisher, as they kind of give their insights of what this spring was like.
This is, now we got to transition into phase 3.
Let's go. This next phase for you too is, I'm sure you've identified spots where maybe you need to go pick up a couple of guys and do things like that. And what does that entail here, and what's kind of the time frame on that?
We feel like right now we've got 90% of our team sitting right here. Obviously we're looking to add maybe 3 to 4 more pieces total. We've got 5 signees that'll be here the end of May, and then we're looking to sign anywhere from 3 to 4 guys, probably max, to put the finishing touches on what we feel like this team moving forward.
Brings over. When's the clock start for St. Francis?
You know what? It'll start once we go through. We'll put this one behind us. We'll finish this spring. We'll still have lifting and speed and change of direction, all the way up to that second week of May. They'll get 2 weeks off, and then we'll come back and we'll get started.
Elijah, another year. This is it for you.
Last spring. It's kind of a little nostalgic because I get taken back to my freshman year and seeing all like how far everything's come. It's just, I don't know, I'm very appreciative of it. It's kind of dawning on me now, but it's awesome. I love it.
A lot of the same pieces, just maybe different places on the offensive line this year. What have you seen in the offseason getting ready to go into the fall camps?
I've just seen a lot of work, and I feel like that was one thing that, our team did do last year is we worked really hard, but it wasn't as a unit. It wasn't just us 5 versus the world, and I feel like we're really, really taking those strides. And like you said, there are some new pieces in new areas, so it's awesome. We got Jay Mick back. That's going to be a good one. Reese got a game last year, and Q McBroom's back. So we're returning a lot of good players, and we've just been on the grind, dude. That's all we can do.
And you go head to head with that defensive line. What can we expect from that side of the ball?
Oh, they're going to be dogs, dude. I'm telling you, Jaden Hamlin, Cliff, I think that'll be the best 2 interior guys that will be in the Sun Belt. They're both SEC talent, in my opinion. I block Jaden Hamlin every day, so I promise you, I can tell everybody firsthand he is like that. He's strong, he's twitchy, he's fast, but I pride myself on being that too. So it's been a battle all spring, and I've loved it.
A little bit better this year that we're not having to talk about, hey, who's the starting quarterback?
No, I'm so happy. So happy we don't have to keep that under wraps. You know what it is. Ten's the guy. But we still got Hunt, too. He's a very, very complimentary quarterback for Aiden, and I've never really seen that in college football. So I'm really excited about what those two will do. And, we still got young guys. We got Landon, we got Bryson, and, they'll get there eventually. But, it's just I love having Tim back there. That's my guy.
You talk about Bryson. I mean, he's only been here, 3 months on campus. How have you seen him already kind of mature and start really taking shape?
I mean, just seeing how he can handle an offense. I mean, a college offense is definitely different than a high school offense, and I'm really proud of him. He's taken everything in stride. He hasn't fell behind in every drill or anything like that. He's been keeping up, and he makes a stride every single day, and that's awesome to see.
Aiden, year 2, you definitely looked a lot more comfortable out there. What's it like kind of going through your second spring here at ULM?
Yeah, definitely, like you said, a lot more comfortable. Another year in the system is always a good thing, and I think just kind of the guys we brought in, some familiarity, obviously, with Nick. One of my roommates at New Mexico, got to bring him in, so I think some new faces, but obviously, like I said, just comfortable in the system again, and just another offseason to get better and feeling good right now.
Same offensive line, maybe some guys in different positions there with, Fisher moving into the interior line. What's that like in your relationship with that offensive line?
Yeah, really good relationship with all those guys. Some of my better friends on the team, so I think just having that camaraderie and that chemistry from a year ago, regardless where Fish is on the line, he's a natural-born leader, so I think him carrying that over is going to be huge. And then obviously, like you said, Jay Mick and then Q McBroom and some of those other guys stepping up is just going to be huge this year coming in.
Going to be a little weird turning around and not seeing a 22 in the backfield?
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, next man up mentality here. So obviously wish Ahmad the best, but we know we got guys coming up that are going to be just as good. So
5-7, not where we wanted it to be last year, but a great start, a great season overall. I think much improved. What's really the big goal that y'all have going into this season?
I think goal-wise, obviously, is to win the West, but I think the biggest goal of ours is just to attack every single day and control what we can control. Can't win any games in the fall today, so I think just keep attacking every single day and just see how much better we can get right here.
Every day when we're on the road, people around us endanger themselves and others by looking at their phones while driving. There's the sneak-a-peeker who darts their eyes between the road and their texts, or the nightlighter who illuminates their car after dark. If that's you, reconsider before you find yourself becoming the fender bender-er, the got a ticket-er, or worst of all, the driver who killed someone. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
So that wraps up the Thursday. We then had Friday, kicking off on the doom and gloom. I know South End Zone Squad really said it best when it was announced that Nick Bruno, was going to be interim president for ULM. They're like, oh Lord, it's the Grim Reaper coming. Well, he's here. Already delivering a State of the University address on Friday morning, talking about budget deficits and cuts needing to be made. Something we knew was coming. We knew that was part of the reason that he was coming back, was to kind of right the ship financially for when the new president comes, most likely on July 1st. And of course, there was a slide in there about athletics and how the university provides a lot of financial subsidies to athletics. He's not an athletics guy, so you knew that was going to be in there. You know his history of slashing, dicing, chopping budgets for athletics and then wanting to know why they're not competitive. And that's not just at ULM. I mean, he has a history. He was on the ULS board that voted to shut down football at Southeastern Louisiana way back in the days. So this is nothing new. I mean, we know what we get when Bruno's on campus. We know what we get when he's in charge. I think, though, part of the concerns, not only of the budget shortfall, there's not a lot of students really on campus. He had slides showcasing even from the COVID to 24, enrollment's down. There's just not many people on campus, not many traditional students at that. Is that athletics' fault? No, I don't think so. I mean, the flagship program at ULM is definitely the pharmacy school. Pharmacy, way down. Do people just not want to slang drugs anymore? I don't know. OT, physical therapy, those programs on the upswing. Always great to see that. Another key thing, though, that was really pointed out, 2 years ago, it was huge news that the former CenturyTel, CenturyLink, Lumen buildings were being donated to ULM, allowing them to maybe have some office space, take advantage of the studios that are out there for more digital content. There were even rumors of some Fortune 100 company wanting to buy it, but that was the university kind of outpriced itself, I think, on what was expected. So now we're stuck with these buildings that cost, per Dr. Bruno, about $2 million, $3 million a year just to keep the lights on. And we're only making $1 million off of them. Is that athletics' fault? No. We knew when those buildings came in, it was a huge donation. It was awesome. It was great. There was a lot of potential of what could be done there to make money off of it, to really bolster the university. but it just never came to fruition. And now ULM is in the real estate business. They don't have a real estate college. They don't have any way to monetize these buildings like they had pictured. So what's the right answer? Do we reach out to Meta, who is building their mega data center there just north of Rayville, and say, hey, would you like some pre-built office space? Maybe. Do we turn them back to the state? Maybe the state can use them for state offices. I don't know what the right answer is, but I know that ULM should not be in the real estate market. So getting rid of those buildings and that deficit helps us all. So that's how Friday kicked off, was with Dr. Nick Bruno dropping the bombshells there left and right, doom and gloom. And then there was baseball on Friday night against the Raging Cajuns, who, based on their guidelines, you don't have to necessarily say the city designation, because you don't say University of Texas at Austin, you just say Texas. So Louisiana v. Louisiana happened, with Louisiana pulling out the win 9-3 over Louisiana. The big innings just really were the difference. I think that there was also a snafu play by the pitcher. Should have made a play at home to get the out there, protect the run. That gave the Cajuns a 2-1 lead at the time, and they just kind of kept going from there. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, well, it's Fed's fault. It's Fed. Fed's got to go. I don't think that's the case. I don't think if we were to have Skip Bertman, Smoke Laval, or anyone else come back to campus, that we're going to see just this dramatic shift of improvement. I don't know what the right answer is there, but I do stand on that hill that I don't think it's Fed's fault. I don't think that having a new coach is just miraculously going to put us atop the Sun Belt Conference standings and in position to go to an NCAA regional. Just not in the cards right now. So that's all we really have. Getting ready for the Easter holidays. Always good to be back on the Bayou, which I will be back on the Bayou for checking out a little bit of Warhawk softball, trying to see if they can keep that 19-0 home streak alive against the top team in the league, Georgia Southern. A little different because of Easter. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. But we'll be out there checking out the Bayou, checking out softball, just having fun with it. And we'll have Chase back again the week afterwards. So until next time, see y'all on the Bayou.